think I need another cheese.
Welcome to the Middle Class Room, where three middle-class friends discuss their lives, current events, fun facts, and whatever else comes to mind. Alan, the salesman, Murr, the postman, and Wes, the project manager, giving your take as middle-class assholes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Middle Class Holes.
I'm officially less than a man, boys. It's over. The snip, the tuck, the nip, the tuck. I'm done. I guess I'm not sterile yet. I guess I have a little bit of an adventure I have to go on to make sure those terms are coming to a completion. But they say 10 to 15 ejaculations. Rookie numbers right there, buddy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Wait, did you have to work? Did you have to wait at all?
What do you mean? No, I haven't. Hey, truth be told, I haven't experienced that yet. I still have another day to wait until I get to pleasure myself and see how that unfolds. But yeah, that's it, dude. I got a couple of questions I have for you guys. One.
How does it feel? Well, it feels great, you know. I feel wonderful. I have full set all my faculties about me.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's an experience. If you guys are ever going to go get the procedure done, just know it's a very uncomfortable process that takes about 15 to 30 minutes. Maybe took longer, maybe took less. I don't know. I was huffing nitrous like it was going out the fucking style. Like I was on an airplane that was on fire and I needed to fucking survive. Homeboy even said, "Hey, why don't you lay off that a little bit?" And my response was, "All right."
Yeah. I thought you were just saying,
Nice.
"Yes, Captain. Yes, Captain."
It was a prolonged chuckle followed by an okay. Like what you're saying makes sense because I know that I'm not. But I do want to know, how is it weird how normal? I've had time to reflect now. I'll start with you, Alan. Is it weird how normal, like, having your genitalia mutilated by a surgeon has become in America, or is it just me?
I mean, I guess it's kind of weird. I mean, it's totally voluntary, though. You didn't have to do it. Like,
I know, but the fact that, like,
and then they mutilate you. They're very, like, minimally invasive. Like, somebody's gonna look at, like, the only person noticing that's like one person, presumably, and it's probably not even noticeable.
Okay, you say, like, did they really mutilate you? But, like, I mean, technically, I don't know what they do with the balls in the process of the procedure, but they get around them, they pull a whole tube out that has a function.
Yeah.
And they cut and burn it, which I smelled. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you are no longer able to procreate as a human being. I feel like that's mutilation. Just because they tuck it all back into that the convenient sack we got down there doesn't really mean it's not like a mutilating process.
I mean, I think it does by definition of the word, but hey, who the hell am I? I get what you're saying, though. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But is that not like, it's partially like advancing into modern medicine and shit? Like, you, again, this is entirely voluntary. You chose to do this.
I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after the fact that I started having these thoughts, because I'm not gonna lie, I got a little emotional at one point, because I'm like, my abilities as a man have been extinguished, essentially. But Wes, what?
Well,
That's
okay.
fair.
Would you consider breast reduction mutilation?
I mean, I guess, but like,
I think that's more mutilation than what Murr went through.
no, I disagree, because sometimes, man, when they reduce and enhance, I mean, there's some art that happens with that, because you got just giant hanging honkers that, yeah, I'm like, okay, you know, gravity's not being.
Yeah, they present certain problems, back, shoulder.
Well,
you know,
I'm talking aesthetically, you know, like sometimes.
Yes, yes. Obviously, if you can get over this aesthetic male hurdle, like tits, you understand that someone, a petite girl or woman rather, you know, has had back problems for a chunk of her life and would like to, you know, be able to stretch her shoulders back and go, that feels good.
No, what I'm saying is aesthetically, just because they're big doesn't mean they're nice. That's my point. I was like,
that's fair.
Sometimes, you know, if it looks like you're smuggling a fucking watermelon in a nylon sock, like, that's a problem. But, you know, you trim it back, you get the melons a little closer to the top. That's a better look aesthetically. But I'd say from a mutilation standpoint, those honkers are still work.
Yeah, I think that's where we're like, mutilation doesn't necessarily mean like aesthetically pleasing or fucking. It just means it's like serious injury. I guess you could say disfigured, but you're not disfigured. Like your shit still looks like your shit. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Like if you start hacking slashing titties, they still look like titties. They just no longer look like the titties that were there previously. I think that's what I'm saying. That's more mutilation versus, and that's way more serious of a surgery. Like, you know what I mean? Like some jabroni fucking did it, and you were in stirrups. Like fucking boob surgery's like full anesthesia.
That's the weird part. No stirrups, man. I was just leg fucking right angle hanging.
That's just ignorant on your doctor's part, I think.
By the way, with both my jockstrap, my underwear, and my pants around my ankles. Now, I know it's definitely not comfortable. I think it serves two purposes. One, you don't have any flailing leg syndrome going on from all the fucking tugging and pulling on the balls. And then two, when you're done, you don't have to like
fish your boxer briefs through something that just got cut up.
Yeah, and you just seriously just stand up and then pull your pants up and you're done. I gotta say though, some of the emotional trauma was I don't know, raised by the nurse lady. Now I gotta say, has she ever touched one of these things before? Because she was rubbing iodine on me, and she was yanking me like she was playing Street Fighter fucking 2, man. It was brah, brah, brah.
More of an X-Men guy myself, but I understand where you're coming from, sure.
A lot of up, down, left, right, BA start action going on. But she did specifically say to her trainee that was with her, two ladies, by the way, very fun times for me.
Ooh, so you got the trainee in the room. You got the junior, the up and comer.
Yes. Now the one was kind of a looker. The other one was there, and the exact quote was, "Now move his penis here. We don't want it to flop into the area." Just using the word flop, like I was like, yes, we wouldn't want it to.
Yeah. Man.
Flop, because it has the ability to do such a thing. It wasn't just mushrooming up. I had some hang, so I was very happy about that. Almost passed out.
Ma'am, you're right. I'm much more of a flopper than just a kind of a shifter.
That's
right. You're right.
And
thank you for that.
But I did almost pass out on the drive home. I thought I was fine. Got in the car, started it up, felt a little out of sorts. Huffed a lot of nitrous over the last half hour. And then I got onto 24 in Bel Air. I was driving. I was like talking to Maria. I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to pull into this random housing development right now because I don't know if I'm going to make it home if I don't. Bye. I hung up on her. And then I stopped and I went into a complete flop sweat. And then, I think I passed out for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably a heart rate thing. That probably wasn't, your body's just coming to, adjusting, or blood pressure or both,
Yeah, and I mean, significant trauma to your human body. There's that as well.
Was there any type of warning or anything like, hey, you're driving yourself? Just want to be sure. Did they say anything like that?
No, it was outpatient procedure. They said, it's no big deal. You can go home. You'll be fine. Blah blah blah. And I honestly, I've passed out like a pussy. I've passed out during all my tattoos. After the first one, I always tell them like I'm probably going down at some point. If you got smelling salts, I'll be fine. I come back too. They finish the job. So I think my body has a bad reaction to, I guess, shock of some kind. I don't know if that's what that is. Trauma. I don't know. But thankfully the Tesla too, I was driving home. I wasn't feeling it. I just boop, put it in fucking self-drive, and thank God for that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I drove home after I got my wisdom teeth pulled, and the surgeon was kind of all shocked. Now I will say I didn't get put under, and I sat in a room for about 20 minutes, and he came in. And I said, I feel totally fine. He said, I'm not going to lie. I it's less than 1 in 100 people drive themselves home. It's probably more like 1 in 1,000. I was like, well, one, I'm going 2 blocks. I mean, if I'd feel weird, I could just pull over and walk home. And two, I'm not lying. I'm not fibbing from some sort of some complete stranger to tell you how macho I am. I feel totally fine. And he said, okay, all right. I do want you to sign a waiver. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I checked in with the ladies at the desk, I was fine. I mean, I was hurt a little bit, but I was just like, what do I need to do? I got to sign anything, pay anything? What's up? And they were like, no, your insurance is really good. Covered everything. You don't have to pay a dime. Don't need your credit card. Just sign here that it's all over and you can be on your way. And I just gave him a half-hearted thumbs up and fucking rolled out the door. Nobody said a goddamn thing to me. Walked to the car very gingerly, got in, pulled out of the parking lot. Was like, uh-oh. This ain't good.
And then you proceeded to watch college basketball for 10 hours a day.
I don't know who told me to do this. I don't know if it was somebody at work or if it was one of you two juggalos, but it was like, dude, you know, people schedule their vasectomies right around the NCAA tournament. So, you know, you got to sit there with a bag of peas on your balls. You might as well have something to watch. Lo and behold, fucking the 20th, got home, started icing my balls. By the time they started to de-swell, boom, tip-off began, and the fucking fury of DraftKings began.
making wilder and wilder bets now. I kind of feel like this has turned into, because we've talked about it now this is the third episode. It's just turned into like a weather report. Like, bro, coming to you live from Conowingo, Andrew Murr in the eye of the vasectomy. Murr, how you feeling post vasectomy? Huh?
Yeah.
The five swell came over you.
Yeah. Well, look, it's over. Like literally, figuratively, it's all done. And I guess in June I'll just keep doing what I've been doing for the last 10 years, and she'll get to not take pills every day. So we'll literally finally be au natural. But I want to say this because I did watch a lot of college basketball the first 2 days, and I don't watch a lot of college sports. I prefer professional stuff. But they should really, really, really think about making a professional version of college basketball. Man, I've seen the NBA. I don't know what the fuck that is in comparison. College basketball is wildly superior. They should just quit. They should just all get paid a shit ton of money for 4 years to play in college and then just retire. Retire at 21, 22 and be done with it.
Some are.
Use that
with the NIL money.
Use that degree, baby.
Yeah, some of them are. I mean, your top guys now, like I think Cooper Flagg at Duke's, like getting paid 3.3 million. And he's, you know, and that's this is the infancy of NIL. So, you know, guys are opting to do that. I think you'd have an issue. I mean, are you using college rules? Are you using that are you using, you know, 5 fouls, that 3-point length, 2 halves, no timeout, get you to cross half court?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the referees, you know, they seem to call fouls. You know,
travels,
except for maybe one travel at the end of one very important game for us.
Right. That was a gather step.
Oh yeah,
it was a gather step. Yeah.
Yeah. He gathered for his
gray area.
He gathered for his next 2 steps. I gotcha.
It's a 6'10" guy gathering.
Yeah.
8 feet.
No, they make calls. The only thing I don't like is the fucking review every goddamn ball that goes out of bounds. That's a little fucking old. But if they get that in fucking line, no, I mean they're strict. The rules are strict, and they enforce them. And because of that, the kids play harder. And as they're playing harder, they get called. They simmer down a bit, but they fucking play within that very thin line of like what's the correct call and what's just aggression. And in the NBA, I don't know, like fucking watching. I would expect college kids to flop more than professionals, and it's totally the other way around. Watching fucking LeBron James do a double fucking foot stomp because like he didn't get a ball called that went out of bounds off his own hand. Fucking ridiculous, dude.
There was that Jordan Geronimo, that 6th man or 7th man, however you want to label him, at Maryland, got his tooth knocked out like a month and a half ago, and they panned to him sitting on the bench, and the trainer has his tooth, saying like, "Do you want to like?" I'm suspecting that he said, "Do you want to call it a game and we'll just put this in right afterwards?" And he's like, "No," waved him off. So they just put a butterfly over his lip.
Oh my god!
I'm good. We'll figure this out.
Yeah. I don't know, Alan. When's the last time you watched an NBA game?
God, I don't know.
When was the last?
1998.
What was the last premier superstar that you followed in the NBA? Kobe, at least.
Yeah. That's probably it. Yeah, like I like Kobe. I like Dwayne Wade back in the day. Like, Yeah, that's probably around the last time I actually gave a shit about basketball.
2015, 16. It's about 10 years.
Yeah, at least. Yeah,
And even then, you were you were probably just watching playoffs.
Yeah,
you were watching too much regular season.
I'm not a big basketball guy. Well,
I'm not either, and I think that's why I was so intrigued by the college game. I normally I'm working, so I don't get to watch that fucking fury of the first 2 rounds. You know, I maybe catch like the 2 late games, so I'm only watching like maybe a total of 4 games over 2 days under normal circumstances. But this time I got to watch it, and I'm like, God damn, this is a pressure cooker for everybody. And I know this is their playoff, so it's condensed. But man, if that's how all the games go, Jesus.
My thing was always like, I think, and this is what I always have said about like college and NBA, like, so like college is spread out, and right, like a lot of these teams, maybe one guy goes to the NBA. You know what I mean? Like only maybe 2 or 3 of these teams, right, have all of their starting 5 go to the NBA, and even that's probably a long shot, right? Like, whereas like, so by the time you get to the NBA, you got a team full of guys who like literally can't miss. They're the best of the best, which is what you're expecting from a professional league. Like, I get it. But, like, I think that's what makes it so fucking boring. Like, it's like they don't call any of the fucking fouls. They just constantly fucking make everything. It's like 125 to 127. Like, it's a preposterous game now. Like, basketball back in, like, the Jordan days and shit actually was entertaining to me. Like, there was some defense. Fucking also probably didn't call fouls, but different style of not calling fouls. WWE style of not calling fouls.
Yes.
Much more entertaining than fucking
referees were wildly distracted. Like, what?
Yeah, like wildly more entertaining than this shit. Whereas I think like you get to fucking the NCAA, like the tournament especially, like, yeah, there's a couple elite teams that are probably going to blow the doors off of some teams. Like, fucking, we watched that first round Maryland game. They beat the brakes off of fucking Online University. Fucking, like, that was kind of cool. But largely, you see parity. You see like teams that are pretty good, teams that are way different stylistically. So it's like, oh shit, this team doesn't know how to fucking deal with that. That's kind of cool. Like the product's way more entertaining. And like you said, the kids are more passionate. There's a whole fucking ecosystem around the passion. I will get into some NCAA on occasion. The fucking NBA is dead to me. It has been for a better part of a decade.
I think this past week I saw more fucking jump shots within 15 feet of the basket than I have in the last like decade of professional basketball. Like,
you're never like the pros never press anymore. They haven't pressed in about a decade, and that's just because it's worthless. They don't. It's 8. You figure thinking about this, the difference in the game. It's 10 seconds in the college ranks to get across. It's 8 in the NBA. For Christ, 2 seconds. That's a long time. That's a fifth of that. Perhaps we could weasel them in. No, they just pass around it. They get across half court, and they're ready to rock. Even so, it's a 24-second shot clock. So say you burn 5 to 6 seconds off just pressing, and you get back. A team has. Then they have about 20 seconds to run a play. It doesn't matter. Alan, you alluded to it. They're just too fucking good. No matter how you could put a hand right in someone's fucking mug as they're shooting a jump shot, and they shot that jump shot a million times, and they know the trajectory. They know how much spin they need to put on it. And it's weird. They've gotten so good at that, especially now that the power forwards and centers, not all centers, but a lot of them shoot threes. All the power forwards are just swing men. They're not power forwards by the traditional sense. They're not your Sean Kemps and your Karl Malones and your Chris Webbers. These guys just they're skinnier, they're lankier, and they can shoot.
It's like 4 fucking guards, but variations in size, and then a big man, and then your big man was like an old school power forward, and that's it. Like,
right?
Is that not like a fucking center? Like, you maybe got like 2 of them motherfuckers in the league, right? Yeah, it's just I don't know, dude. Exactly. Like, you watch some of these games, and like the last couple possessions of basketball are always the greatest, right? Because it's back and forth. You're like, oh, this is very important. Got to strategically get this play off. Fucking guys try inbound, fucking making it hard, fucking all that kind of cool shit. But in fucking college, like a motherfucker gets an open shot, he can actually miss it. There could be a rebound. It could go the other way. It could be fucking wild. It doesn't matter. They fucking figure it out. They get this guy a shot. Boom, drops it. Okay, overtime. Cool. More of the same. Like, the NBA is just a boring fucking product, and I don't even like basketball like that. Like, fucking, you're definitely not appealing to me anytime soon. But fucking March Madness is always great.
But see, I used to, you can call it Jordan syndrome, but here's what's wild about the Jordan era is that not only was Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player to ever fucking lace his fucking shoes by his own name up, it was a more physical league. They were pressing, they were fucking, they were taking those shots inside the 3-point arc. They were they were doing all those things that the college game's doing, but they're also professionals, and there wasn't the wild trades like the super team, the LeBron James fucking like that Miami Heat era of his. Like, Jesus Christ, like you had every great player in the fucking league on there.
And then likewise, like back then, there was more style differences between teams. Like now it's just this open offensive, who's going to get the ball last. That's it. Like you can skip to the last 2 minutes of the NBA game and just play that. That's really the only thing. Like, and then it's just about who gets the fucking ball last. Like back then there was some strategy. Somebody might steal a fucking ball for once. Like you know what I mean? Like somebody might play defense on a game where there's an offense and a defense theoretically in the sport. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Rodman, did Rodman ever, he take 5 shots in his career?
Yeah.
Made 3 of them. And, the rest of his game was just fucking beat the shit out of you under the fucking, under the rim.
That guy would have, mad rebounds, a couple assists, and, 2 points.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, that's a night right there. You see Rodman go to work. 2 free throws.
2 of 4 free throw shooting.
two free throws because he got hacked fucking going up for a dunk. Fucking, he had fucking 15 rebounds. Fucking 9 assists. Good to go. Fucking solid.
Right. 5 fouls. There's also, I mean, think about a game gets tied, and it's 2.3 seconds left. They call a timeout, and the NBA difference is they get it just past half court. College, you can't do that. So you get to 2.3 seconds from 90 feet is vastly different than 43 and a half feet.
So I guess the point is it seems as though college has harder rules with lesser players, where the NBA has easier rules with the best players that are on the planet. And I mean, they obviously
the 3-point line's further. And there's other things that are harder. Obviously, the athleticism, and the game's 8 minutes longer.
I'm actually glad you said that because, I was gonna use it as a point earlier. I watched a whole montage the other day, just randomly. I was just scrolling through Instagram or fucking something, and it was just a whole montage of fucking a defense not pressing whatsoever, and literally LeBron just stepping over the half fucking court line and being like, "Oh well." And just knocking it down. It was bro, that's you're 40 feet away. And he's doing it like it's a fucking free throw. And nobody presses him. Nobody does anything. That's cool, guys. Just nothing. And there's, I know he's had a long career, but there must have been fucking 60 of these clips. That's it? That's all we're doing? That's what we're doing now? We're just letting that happen? Okay. Whatever.
Well, it's the same.
So what you're saying is you're endorsing the rock and jock basketball version of basketball, where there's a 10-point circle.
That I'm fine with that. If we're gonna do it, let's just do it. Honestly, fucking
a 50-point basket.
What was that shit on FX? Or Spike TV slam ball? Let's just get the trampoline. Let's just get the trampolines in there. Fuck it. We're done with the NBA.
Yeah, but
I watched slam ball until a guy dislocated his ankle to absolute smithereens. I was okay, I'm done with that sport.
Yeah, but look, the college guys would adapt. How much further back is the NBA line? What, 2 feet?
It's not 100% 2 feet at portions. It's less at the
corners,
at the ends, at the corners. It gets a little bit more pronounced towards the top.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact difference.
And most of them take their shot from the corner anyway. So it's I don't think that has much. I don't know. You could move it back. You could even move it, like Alan said, you can move it even further back in the NBA. It doesn't matter. Watch Steph Curry just fucking like pull up from like the fucking nipple, just like LeBron. He's talking about little LeBron. Like watching that guy warm up is like its own fucking everyday like TikTok viral video. It's him he does his like 15 shots or whatever. It's like shuttle running or suicide running back.
Also,
you know.
This is not to cut you off. This is a total side note. Now, just thinking about it just now. I was fucking just stoned thinking about things. Fucking, is it that maybe the like regular ass white dudes that made basketball, like, is the court too small? Is what I'm getting at. Like, are the athletes that play on the fucking court right now and the court itself incompatible? Are they like too big, too fast, too strong? We need to make it slightly bigger. Fucking
or the rim higher.
Adjust. Yeah, there you go. Adjust some things, and then have a basketball game, and let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
So okay.
You could you could do. You either extend the sidelines, make a 4-point line, and or make the rim higher.
I like making the rim 12 feet. I think making the court maybe a little bit like girthier and
yeah.
I
not
like,
even longer, just fatter maybe. Like
because you're not wrong, Alan. Because like thinking about like there's a commercial playing. I think it's a Capital One commercial, like where like Will Forte's playing the guy that with Abner Doubleday or whatever, and it's like and Barkley like slams it, and he's like, "Oh dear, that was my last peach basket." And like thinking like the parameters.
Exactly my point.
Yeah. Haven't changed.
This is a 10-foot rim. This is a 10-foot rim. No one will ever be able to get up this high ever in the history of man.
And I saw another video where Wilt Chamberlain had such a hard time with free throws that he like for one season he learned that he could dunk it if he jumped from the foul line, because the rule said like as long as your feet leave the ground before the line, it doesn't matter where they land. So he was jumping and just fucking like tapping
laying
them
it up,
placing it.
And so they had to change the
rules.
So they changed the rule. So you only got to do that for one season. But that's like the beginning. That's foreshadowing for exactly what Alan's talking about, is that after all this time, like, yes, the parameters of the game aren't matching the talent and like athleticism and the size, the physical stature of the players.
Like there's always been like every now and then through the years there's been the 7-footer, right? And like, but he's always kind of clunky. Like other than maybe Shaq, probably your most athletic like 7-foot big man, right? Is he 7 feet?
7'1".
7'1",
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
David Robinson, a couple others.
David Robinson, but like David Robinson also fundamentals. It's like watching a woman play basketball, but it's fucking poetry in motion. Like, but he's the admiral, so no bad words here. I'm just saying
the jackest woman you've ever met.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything. This isn't an indictment on the man. He's fucking amazing. I'm just saying he was boring as fuck to watch. Fucking. But like there have been a 7-footers here and there. Now you got fucking 7-footers that are like Olympic sprinters. Like you got fucking Wembanyama and fucking shit like that. Like these ain't regular 7-footer. Like, you know, we saw Yao Ming and we were like, well, yeah, look at him, but you can still fucking break him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's tall, but who cares? Fucking these guys, you can't stop these guys. Like, who stops these guys?
Well, what's LeBron? LeBron's what, like 6'8"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, so that's kind of like, that's almost like your point right there is like, I mean, and I mean, is LeBron durable? I'd say yes, considering how old he is. And
and he was like huge, right? For the time when he came in, he was this big, strong, like they didn't have a guy his build playing the position like he does. You know what I mean? Like, or the variety of positions that he does. Like, that didn't really exist. And now you got guys that are fucking bigger, faster, stronger than that guy.
I just know this: there has been a resurgence of the white male athlete. So I don't know if we want to change the rules just yet. Like seeing like Luka is probably going to be like, you know, we've got 2 cornerbacks in the NFL now. We've got like a top 5 player in Luka out there. You know, I mean, maybe we simmer down on this rule change talk for
keep it at 10 feet, all right? God, just bump it up.
5 more years, okay, at least.
Let's do 10 and a half tops.
Give us a chance.
Yeah. Murr, Allen, and Foxman, everyone. Middle class holes. Folks, we got a special break it down for you tonight. Hold on. Cue that music. Here we go. I don't know. I gotta turn this down. I just gotta. There we go.
This is definitely getting
break it down.
flagged.
That's right. It's getting flagged for we're getting to royalty infringement. Okay, so last night, depending upon when you're listening to this, a few nights ago, Topgolf League kicked off or closed out its inaugural season with the final. LA played. I think they played New York. Billy Horschel hits a shot on the next to last hole to put Atlanta up, 1 with 1 to play, and he breaks into a wild celebration. Murr said he hasn't watched it. He said he was holding off on watching it once I brought it up. Alan, did you catch it?
The end of the thing? Yes, I did. It was
okay.
It was. Are we talking about the whole thing or the putt?
The putt, then the celebration.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, now I don't know if you have this one queued up too, but now you told me that this is very reminiscent of the Pete Weber. Who do you think you are? I am. Do we have that queued up as well? Because I would like to do
100%.
Okay, 'cause I need to do a
both.
1-to-1 ratio here and see who owned it. I still say already, just before we start, letting you know, I'm biased. Pete Weber's already got at least a 10-foot head start in this fucking race. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're also gonna have to, and I can play this again if you want to. I'll probably have to section it off and get it to the correct spot. But mind you, just like every other live event, they're on about a 7 to 8 second delay, and you there is a spot where you don't hear sound because he says the F word because he's so ramped up. And he even admitted later on, he said, I blacked out. I pulled a Will Smith in old school during the debate session because I hit that putt. He didn't say that. He said, I blacked out. I added the Will Smith portion because I'm original like that. But here's the putt. It was dramatic. And actually, as a matter of fact, they threw the hammer and New York accepted thinking that he wouldn't make this putt. So, here we go.
To win the hole at 2 points.
Yeah, I really wish that bar wasn't there so you could see.
you say my house?
He said, my
Yes.
fucking house.
Okay.
And then he said, my house. And then I love Patty Ice or, Patrick Cantlay goes like, hey, well done. Like a dork.
He is a fucking nerd.
No.
Well done there. So he said, yeah, my fucking house. My house.
Okay, all right. I that's good. I mean, I think the throwing of the club that enhances a little bit. That snake of a putt was fucking brilliant. I mean, that thing goes.
Yeah, and that view doesn't do it much justice because that downhill was that was a downhill putt.
Yeah, but I mean, even looking at it there, I mean, it starts this way, cuts back this way, and then cuts back yet again.
Yeah, it
it
breaks
did
like
a
2 times,
literal
yeah.
slither. I mean, that was pretty brilliant.
And I will say, Schauffele on the other team was the one who accepted the hammer, and he said, I don't think he can make that putt. And he's standing right next to him. He said, with all due respect. And then as they're walking back, he says, you think I can't make that putt? In good fun. It wasn't shit talking, but it was fun. So my house, my fucking house, my house in Topgolf League amongst that crowd there.
All right. Well, considering it is the 10-year anniversary, let's. I think the champ is still the champ here. Let's see old Pistol Pete here, because there's parameters that surround this particular clip. And then
right, and this was 11 years ago, about 3 weeks ago ish.
Yes, it's Pete Weber
Strike for the claimant.
for the PBA championship. Okay, let me break down why this is the superior clip. I'm not saying that the heat of passion from our man on the links there, fake links.
Billy Horschel, yeah.
I like the passion. Okay, so the backstory to this is there's a 12-year-old in the crowd who was heckling Pete Weber, and Pete does not give a shit what age or gender you are. He is a fucking hothead asshole, And this was also to beat his dad's record for most PBA championship titles. Nobody likes Pete Weber because his dad was like the buttoned-up Mr. Rogers of bowling, and then here comes Pete like an Ernie McCracken out of nowhere and starts racking up victories. And so Pete, knowing he's retiring soon, trying to get this fucking, like, I think it's his 6th title, here's this fucking kid, hits the shot, and instantly walks over to fucking heckle a 12-year-old. Who do you think you are? I am. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fucking...
Yeah, and
I
he
did not know
lost the
that.
glasses, too. They cut away to the crowd, and he fucking... I don't know what he did, but
I
he
don't
cut
know.
back,
I
and he
wanna
didn't have the
watch it
glasses
again.
on anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
God knows what happened. Listen, if I was a heckler or someone, a passerby, or one of the 60 people in the audience, I may have jumped the barrier to get those puppies.
They'd be worth at least like $70-$80 on the black market.
I always I always wondered
Pete
about
Weber's,
that.
who do you
Like,
think you are? I am glasses.
I always wondered about that. Like, do they set up like bleachers on the other lanes that aren't being used at like your local fucking AMF? Like, how does the television broadcast for live bowling work?
That's a good question. I know this about bowling lanes is that the first 50 or the first 50% is hardwood.
Okay.
So you're not going to damage it if you do put, it's like basketball court wood. So you're not going to damage it if you put anything on it. The latter 50s, like the softwood stuff. So yeah, I don't know, maybe, probably.
I wouldn't be. Well, hold on. I was going to say I wouldn't be shocked if these are like temporary setups in a ballroom or something. But then again, you have to get the
lane.
You have to get the ball return. You have to get the.
Yeah.
You have to create.
Yeah, you have to get
the
like
technology.
a fucking, literally like a purpose-built building into somewhere else.
This isn't like a Price is Right setup.
I mean, at this point, I feel like ball returns and pin machines, like it's like fucking like an artisan. You know what I mean? Like there's like 6 technicians. It's like a fucking pipe organ in a church. You got to get a guy from like Switzerland to come over and fucking like, you know what I mean? That's how I think bowling lane technology works.
And I don't think you're wrong. I think that's probably why there's not a whole lot of these championship tournaments that take place on the coasts. I think this is more of like a Midwest kind of thing where bowling alleys are like churches, mega churches, if you will. The Joel Osteens of fucking sports happen in the bowling world in the Midwest. Yeah. So
he's the American Legion electronic technician and pro bowling 911 troubleshooter. Yeah, that's a great question, because I guess you could, if you have enough money, you could set up a temporary lane. Say you rent out a ballroom at a hotel that has the infrastructure to set up temporary bleachers and the lights and the cameras and whatnot. You'd have to have the top return, right? The balls that are being returned, not underground, but on top, right? Like the old school, like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think you guys are overthinking this a pinch because
they don't rent out like an Elk Lane somewhere and then say, okay, we're just using the last 2.
That's why I'm saying that this is more of a middle of the country, like this is where everyone congregates kind of thing. Bowling is bigger in certain areas of the U.S. than it is like where we sit now. So they're not going to do it at like, I don't know, some Hilton or something. And okay, I'm not trying to disrespect bowling. I think it's an amazing, I don't going to call it a sport. I think it's an amazing competitive event. I don't know how many people are clamoring for tickets, okay, to go to such a thing. I don't know when it's happening. I just know I'm flipping through the channels and I'm like, oh, it's Sunday at 11 and there's no NFL football. What's this? And I'll watch it. But beyond that, it's not appointment sporting events.
Speaking of sport evolution, you know they have a lot of two-handed bowlers now. Pros, a lot of two-handed guys.
Okay.
That's kind
All
of
right.
Yeah.
A lot of spin.
Murr, did you get to the bottom of
Well,
of
I was just
mobile-
like, where was the last PBA championship film? And apparently it was filmed at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Fucking
That makes sense, too.
scenic Reno, Nevada. The prize fund, $505,000. That's for the whole
Nice little
tournament.
take home,
That's the whole tournament. But
okay.
the winner takes $100,000. So like,
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Pete Weber fucking did all of that for 100 G's.
Well,
Who do you think you are?
Pete was cleaning up on tour too, buddy. All right.
Yeah, I'm
bet-
sure.
I
I
bet
like to think it's like The Color of Money. You know that movie with Tom Cruise and fucking. I think they just beat the circuit. You know what I mean? Like fucking Murr was saying. Like they just go around your Topeka's, your Lincoln, Nebraskas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Just working the circuit. Fucking taking money from fucking unsuspecting idiots.
By the way, did you know who that was called by? Who was doing the play-by-play on that?
Was it Brent Musburger? It sounded like.
No, that was Brent Musburger. It was Gary Thorne.
Oh, weird.
Former Orioles guy who was, still does a lot of baseball. He's a great hockey commentator, but that made me think that a guy like Gary Thorne just loves sport and competition
So
so
much.
much. And he's like, throw my name into the hat. I'll do the fucking PBA circa 2006.
Or did
Cool.
the PBA find Gary Thorne, where they were like, "Listen,
Yeah, who landed on Plymouth Rock? Gary Thornton did with an 8-pound ball.
you got the pipes for the oily lanes, my friend. You fucking get over
Yeah.
here."
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, people shit on Bob Costas all the time, but Bob Costas, to his credit, especially me and Wes, we've the broadcast business. Wes, with sports, me with just general radio. You're a hired gun, and for somebody like Costas, when the Olympics comes around, how much does old Billy Bob know about fucking gymnastics or ice skating or anything else? But he knows enough. He's got a cadence. Jim Nantz, same thing.
Yeah.
Fucking golf, football now. He should be kissing Tony Romo's fucking just fungus-riddled toes in his Sketcher fucking shoes for the gig that he's got now with fucking Romo. I mean, it's respectable. Not that the Masters isn't respectable, but
Yeah, my old man hated Costas doing the Olympics because he got a lot of not a lot of airtime, but a lot of face time. Do you know why? You want to take a guess at this?
because he's cute for 40 years.
No, he said his eyes were always too glossy. Looked like he was about to cry.
That's fair.
That's not fair. My old man was an asshole with that.
It's like, I
Didn't
don't
move.
know. That seems weird.
It's ridiculous. Okay.
Very nitpicky,
Yeah, it was.
But if you wanna
especially
s-
about another man. I don't know.
Was it just because they were glossy or because they would look soulless? Because I see Costas as kind of soulless when it comes to stuff like that.
I think Costas has, and maybe it's just because my dad pointed it out that I was then more, focused in on looking at this man's eyes. He does have a little bit of buggy eyes, and around the time that the HD cameras are coming around, they're talking about 2006, 2010 Winter Olympics that he's in studio for, and he's like, look at him, God, it looks like he just dropped 15 drops of Visine in each goddamn eye. And it's like, oh man, what?
Weird. That's such a
What?
weird. It's a
You
weird
know-
hang up.
See, my
Just say you hate the guy. Just say you hate him.
my hang
You
up
don't know why.
my only hang up with Costas is he always and it's forced a lot of the times. He always tries to find the historical implication of whatever's happening, and tries to really fancifully Michael Phelps. That was a big one, but I don't know, Simone Biles, a case of the yips. Don't we all have a case of the yips in life? And it's like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Okay.
Yeah, it was. What was the twisties? now twisties are, according to experts that I've spoken to personally, when you're doing 16 somersaults midair between 12 and 13, you might forget where you are.
But I do want to
we can all relate to that.
I do want to remind people that when you're a corporate guy and you're getting paid the corporate bucks, and they're like, all right, Bob, you're going to be doing fucking 5 rounds of fucking curling. Ugh. It's not like Bob's in the mirror getting ready, fucking adjusting his tie, looking forward to the day. It's just like, shit. Do I have my
Yeah.
notes? What are the rules? He's not.
Glossary.
His eyes are.
that was a. Hold on, bear with me.
His eyes are bloodshot because he spent the last 14 hours fucking studying for sports he's never seen.
That's a good point.
That was a triple blooper. Look at that. That's what they call it in the old lanes. I don't even know if it's a lane.
And on
Now-
the high dive diving, the triple Indy.
Yeah.
I want to go back and see what he had to say about that Australian breakdancer now.
Yeah.
Just see what
That's it.
they cut back
We've
from
all
that.
had a case of the yips, probably. That's what he said.
He's just like, oh boy, moving on.
They need to make a
Right.
movie. They need to make a legitimate movie about that chick. I don't know, like, what vein you put it in, but, like, she put her thumb on the scale to get her... There's gotta be, like, one fucking Aboriginal dude fucking that can do a fucking backspin on sand better than that chick could do it on a fucking regular
Right.
linoleum.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She put the...
Well, I'm assuming this is Australia, right? She was Australian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming the female Australian tryouts for breakdancing was just lines long. Just a quarter mile down the road. It just couldn't. It took all day.
She did a kangaroo hop, Wes.
Well, she's tapping into her native roots. She's Australian.
She was also on the committee that picks whoever's representing Australia, so that factors in a pinch.
You see talent. You see talent yourself. You're confident, I guess. I don't know. I will say, love him or hate him, Costas could call a good baseball game. And when they brought him back to playoff baseball last year, I was excited. Perhaps I'm biased because he was a voice of my youth, but he does call a good baseball game.
No, he spins a good yarn when it's time. When it's appropriate, it's good. When it's just when he's stretching, it's bad. You can't find poetic justice in every scenario that exists in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you I met Jim Nance?
No.
Well, very briefly, one time we were at the fourth round of the 2019 PGA Championship up at Bethpage in New York, and we had gotten slightly behind a group of ours, myself and Donnie, and I had slightly behind. It was like 20 yards, and Nance walks past us with an assistant, and he gets like 6 or 7 feet behind us, and Donnie's like, "No, that was Jim Nance." I was like, "Yeah, I noticed him too." He's like, "No, let's go up and say something to him. Let's go get a picture." I'm personally, I am not big on approaching celebrities because I just think they get it way too much, and just let them be normal people. And he talked me out of it. Turn around, Mr. Nance. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Can we get a picture?" "Yeah, absolutely." And his assistant took both of our phones, took pictures of us. He pats us both on the back. He's like, "All right, boys, let's make history today." Man, it felt like felt like God touched my back and said, "Let's go out there and have a fun." I was like, "Mr. Nance, I'm going to drink probably 10 IPAs. I'm going to make history. I'm going to make a lot of history, buddy. I'm going to blow up this urinal, and it is going to be the albatross that you've never, ever seen, buddy."
There's going to be a brand new hazard on 17, I guarantee it.
That's right. That's right. Well, this is this week's Break It Down, folks. Check it out. Watch Pete Weber and Billy Horschel's celebration. Tell us what you think. Tell if it's comparable. This is my fucking house. Go watch it again, Murr, because they did have to bleep it out, and I think someone from the ESPN staff did say that they didn't. No one has had to do that for the dozens of these tournaments or these events, and someone's like, "Oh God!" Beep 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 beep.
By the way, for the record, I really, really like that golf. That whatever that is,
Yeah, it's
whatever
cool.
it's.
Top Golf League.
I like it. I just like it because, like,
Okay.
I know you guys are into real traditional golf, and obviously championships and things of that nature should be, cherished, and tradition should be championed. But like, to see the best golfers in the world fucking like acting like normal dudes for once, like that guy wouldn't do that anywhere but that fucking Waste Management fucking tournament or whatever the fuck they play. I mean, beyond that,
Right.
like to see Tiger like going up and like harassing his kid for a chicken finger. Like they feel comfortable enough to like show their personalities out there. It's not a pressure cooker situation for these dudes. They're fucking. It's a video screen. It's fun, and I do think the PGA should embrace that a little bit more. Maybe put it like directly before the actual entire season kicks off. Maybe they have. I don't know, but it would introduce layman's like myself to the golfers. You get invested in their personality, you get invested in their game, and then you get invested in the actual like matches that count.
Yeah.
They're certainly I mean, everyone's mic'd up. This anything from 50 yards and in turns into a real, quote unquote, real golf shot because they have the green. The green, I don't know if you've heard of it, like, I think spins and has thousands upon thousands of hydraulics that makes it undulate and go up and down. And yeah, I do. I think the holes are gimmicky. I think they should make them more gimmicky. Mm-hmm. I think they should have to to shoot through hoops of fire. If they nick any of it, the ball then reduces speed and doesn't go as far.
I think maybe dial it back a little bit, but I do think they should really extend those hydraulics and show you what kind of topography they can make on those greens. But before they all putt, I think they should have a dude go out there and just gently roll a golf ball to show you the fucking wackiness that's possible depending on where they hit their shot. Like watching homeboy's snake shot there, that's fucking, dude, that was a great putt. I don't care what surface you're on. But if somebody was able to demonstrate for you, watch the movement on this ball, and then they show the zigzag line, good luck.
And I could tell you from someone who's hit putts similar to that, and Alan, you can attest to it. Mm-hmm. You not only do you not make them, those fuckers end up way past the hole. Yeah, and you're like, "What? How'd I fuck that up?" Yeah, because you suck and you're not a professional and you can't read a fucking green.
What's the one with the green that's on the floating the island? Is that TPC Sawgrass?
Sawgrass, yeah.
There was one, it was when Tiger was making one of his comebacks and all that, and I just remember watching guys, and they would like NES Golf, the original, and where you don't even tap the button, you just let the putter do the action, and those fucking things just start out moving at 0.01 mile per hour, and then just fucking pick up steam and just end up in the pond. It's Jesus Christ, you make it or you take a penalty stroke, that's it. And people don't get that. And the last thing I say before we get to Fun Fact Friday, Golf Digest 3 years ago had a entire section on that hole, and it was professionals, former professionals, caddies, and commentators, just kind of giving. They'd present a topic, and then multiple people would give kind of a blurb about it, 2 sentences, and the one was talking about the distance of the hole, and it was a caddy, and he's like, it's just between it's just depending upon where it is and how the wind's playing, it's just about between a wedge and a 9-iron, and when it's a wedge, I'm telling you right now, there's no talking a professional golfer out of being aggressive. There's just something about a pro golfer getting a wedge in his hand and saying, I'm fucking going at it. I don't give a fuck. And the next blurb is Ricky Fowler, and he goes, it's a wedge shot. It's not hard. It's not a hard shot. You can get there.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking, I think that's if you play with really good golfers too. Every now and then they'll blast one off into the trees, and they'll be like, that sucks. But if they fucking hit a wedge shot to outside of fucking 10 feet, they're furious. How do I do that? Yeah, they're the most comfortable with those things in their hands. Probably because they take the most fucking practice with them. Because that's how you get to be a good golfer. Is those shots. So I've heard that multiple times. Those motherfuckers get a wedge and they're like, yeah, let's go.
Let's get zeroed in.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, we have facts, and it's soon to be Friday. Let's expand our craniums, as Miss Doubtfire would say.
And let's make them fun, shall we? Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers.
Let's create history.
On a Friday, it's time for the Ripley's Believe It or Not. Time. Warp. 2. Past and present collide again in your Fun Fact Friday. Brought to you, of course, by our good friend the Cuckster. You can find the Cuckster on both Instagram and TikTok. It's Cuckster for life. Cuckster for life on both Instagram and the Tickety Talk. Man, that Cuckster's mustache really fucking came in. I mean, that's legit now.
After a little hiatus and some pampering, you betcha. He now knows the tricks of the trade to create the ultimate cuck stash.
It is not moisture wicking, I will tell you that. That thing's sopping up some juice.
Whether it be something from a Whopper or something from a Whopper.
Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you. Did you know Microchips were invented the same year Lego bricks were patented. 1958. But I do know this extra fun fact that Lego bricks weren't even patented. They were still being produced, but people were copying them. And then the Swedes were like, what? What is this? Why are people stealing our product? We must do this patent. So, yeah. So they patented them in 1958, but they were around a lot longer than that. But the microchip, obviously changing everything human beings have touched, tasted, smelled, heard, or seen for a long time.
I wonder if that first microchip was like the size of a keyboard.
Oh,
Look
sure.
at that. It's a microchip.
Or a macro chip, you know what I mean?
Dad jokes. Here we go. Guy gets snipped. Starts swinging them out.
But did you see the latest that Microsoft has now created a chip for what's the newest thing? The with the particles and the quirks and the beeps and the bops and the boops. The supercomputer thing. What's the fucking thing called? Quantum. They've created a quantum computing chip that apparently like nobody knew they were working on. They did it in super secret silence, and they've now made a stable chip which will now revolutionize humanity as we know it. Look that shit up.
Okay.
Sorry, I yelled at
This
you.
would be a good time. No, I'm saying this would be a good time for a like a Lay's potato chip ad. We've created the microchip. What? Huh? What'd you do? Damn it!
No,
That
but
was the prototype.
but my point is that, like, I mean, we've gotten the microchip as small as we can get it. The computing power is pretty much, like, at its max. And now with this fucking quantum chip that fucking Microsoft's putting out. So apparently when they were doing quantum computing, they had to do it, like, in underground bunkers, like, surrounded by concrete and lead and shit. Because if a particle from outer space, which can almost not be detected by anything we have, made contact with, like, an atom, it would throw the computations off. And so Microsoft's now figured out a way to, like, do this on a, like, gelatin-like surface. And now, like, it can be bombarded by astro particles and not throw everything off. It's fucking crazy, dude.
So in theory, we're getting hit by astroparticles
Right now.
all the time.
All the time.
Right, yeah. Just getting bombarded. I thought so. I thought I felt weird. I thought I felt funny.
I have a wild conspiracy about cancer in that, which I have no scientific evidence to back that I could relate to you at a later date. But let's move on to fun fact number 2. Did you know the first car was built in France before the American Revolutionary War? But it would be 125 years before someone added a steering wheel to automobiles.
Jesus.
Damn.
That... Did
That's
think to
crazy.
like, what were they using, like a giant wrench?
Probably fucking like, well, it's the horseless cart. They were probably fucking wrangling it like they were fucking sledding a toboggan, you know, or like mushing horses across the fucking plains.
Just two giant tethers just pulling the wheels. You pull,
Yeah.
you pull with, it's like the horse. You pull with the right, and it goes right. You pull with the left. Huh.
I have to assume because, I mean, I imagine they were steam powered because that would be like minimum 1775. So, like, I was actually just fascinated the fact that they figured out something that wasn't the horse to get them around, like, before the revolution. That's, I mean,
Yeah.
late 18th century.
What did it say? Anything? Can you reread that? I'm just curious. Like,
The first car built in France before the Revolutionary War, it would take them 125 years before they put a steering wheel on one.
Interesting.
So they were basically using reins, I guess, to steer it. But by the way, what's his face? Jay Leno has a steam car. That fucker'll get, dude. Like, you got to start it in the morning.
He's a carry, if you want to consider it that. He has, like, I think probably 100-ish. I mean, maybe more.
He's got more than that. He's got like 100 in
Yeah.
one warehouse. No, but he demoed one, and like you have to get up in the morning. You have to fill this fucking like drum up with water. You have to fucking put coal in there and light it, and then you have to wait like an hour before it gets hot enough to fucking like steam the water.
Shit.
And then, but here's the thing though, once it's rolling, like you just pull this lever back, and you go as fast as you pull the lever back. Basically, it's just like
it works.
go. Stop. No, we don't stop. We just go.
That's how steam engines work.
Yeah, it's one gear. Goodbye. Thankfully, they were invented before the stoplight, because that ain't happening. Moving on. Fine. Did you know the London Underground subway opened the same year that Abraham Lincoln gave the Emancipation Proclamation, 1863? They're fucking...
That's good time.
They didn't need steering wheels for that. Like, it's amazing. I've been getting into a lot of like architectural history lately, and it's amazing what they were. I mean, I know we all think about like the pyramids, how they do that shit back then, but like the stuff even we were doing that's like almost up to modern standard, and as far back as we were doing it, like we really haven't gone through like a evolution of that nature in quite some time.
Yeah. See, what I think is like more fascinating is, I mean, obviously the idea of a cart transporting people from one place to another, you know, numerous people, but it's just digging up infrastructure of an old city, you know.
Yeah.
The city that's thousands of years old, and they're like, all right, we gotta root this puppy up, and then not fuck with anything else above us.
Well, I think back then they had the luxury of not having a lot of infrastructure like where they were doing it. Because like I don't think it was until the New York subway system that they tunneled. But before that, they just like they dug trenches, laid the tracks, laid everything, and then filled it back in. But there wasn't shit there though. So it was like, what are you gonna do? Like now you got buildings and fucking houses and all sorts of shit. And
Building houses, pipes.
Yeah.
All this weird stuff. Actually, I mean, New York has numerous stops that are abandoned.
Yeah.
They just gave up on them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, even under like where was this? Was this in France? This was in London. With London and France, like they have like catacombs of abandoned like tunneling systems that like they'll like there's some guy that has a show on, I think it's Discovery or something, and he'll go down in these things. There are definitely fucking like people that abandoned us in like the late 80s and just still live down there.
Yeah, that's what that scene from Ghostbusters 2, where they trenched out. They pick up a sample of the ooze or whatever you're going to call it, that pink goo. That's in an abandoned, famous abandoned subway station. I think subways go past it; they just don't stop at it.
Right.
But it's kind of artistic. It's got like a dome. It's got murals and shit.
Yeah, because we used to care what shit looked like. Now it's just all about function. It's not about like leaving a lasting legacy.
No. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you didn't get a kick out of that guy coming into the subway asking us for money, telling us he had AIDS, Murr?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the New York experience.
What did he say? He said he was going to bite our ankles if we didn't give him money?
I don't remember. I just remember I took the longest public piss I've ever taken in my life on a fucking city street. I had nowhere to go. I was sitting there. I was mad. I was like, what do they want me to do? Like, New York smells like piss because you don't have anywhere for me to go. I just had to piss on the sidewalk. There was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were like, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
Piss Busters. Did you know there have been 12 United States presidents since The Tonight Show first aired?
Is this the original Carson? Or is it the one before Carson?
I think it was like Jack Parr, and then I think it's Carson.
Oh, yeah. Was it P-A-A-R?
I think so. Could be wrong.
So we're talking Eisenhower? Is that right?
I think that was the 50s. Late 50s?
So, yeah, Eisenhower butted up against the 60s. Yeah, so let's count them out. Eisenhower, Kennedy, LBJ, Nixon, Carter, Ford, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. Who was that? Trump. Biden, Trump.
Well, yeah, this book's a little old, so I guess 13, because we got two Trumps, actually. And by the way, strange that you started to stumble in modern history rather than You were fine starting at Eisenhower. You didn't fuck up
yeah.
after Reagan. Weird.
Well, I thought it was like, by the way, Katie Dukakis passed away this week.
Wasn't she an alcoholic?
I mean, alcoholic lived till she was 90. Man, bummer. Tough life.
Yeah, it was a tough life, but she had to fucking survive without booze for the last 50 years. Yeah, it does.
Hey, when you're living with a guy like Michael Dukakis, you know, might drive you. Well, I guess drive you not to drink. I don't know. I don't know Michael Dukakis.
The thing about Michael Dukakis, you would think riding in a tank would get you some points in the polls, but then he wore the fucking helmet, and he turned him into Snoopy, and it all went down from there. That was his Howard Dean
I thought it was
moment.
the Bernard Shaw thing too. Remember where he asked if Kitty Dukakis had gotten raped?
That too.
You know, would you say was it capital punishment? Was that they were asked? They
Yep.
were trying to corner him in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then very shortly after that, he got in an M1A1's Abrams, and he wore the fucking helmet, and the helmet did not flatter his already stupid-looking face.
John Lovitz used to play him, by the way, on SNL. That was pretty funny.
Lovitz and Andrew Dice Clay have been making videos on TikTok, and they're the greatest thing of all time. It's just
Really?
it's just Dice Clay and Lovitz like going into convenience stores and things, and Dice being like, "Yo, ask him about the wipes for the eyeglasses." He's like, "What? They're just wipes. What do you need?" He's like, "They're special wipes. You gotta ask the lady." "Why don't you ask her?" "'Cause I'm embarrassed. Ask her about the wipes."
Hey, I got a bag of chili cheese Fritos here, and my friend wants to know about the wipes you got, huh? What about those? The special wipes? He actually really has a really good. What's the is it City Slickers? He's in with City. Yeah, he's in City Slickers. Oh, is it 2?
Yeah, it's got to be 2.
He's got a great line with Billy Crystal about just sitting there patting on the cow. Guy's got that long thing between his legs. Like, yeah, that's his dick. That's a bull. That's what that is. Interesting.
By the way,
he's also good in Mom and Dad Save the World.
He's good in
with,
everything. John Lovitz is a good guy. John Lovitz is just he's a funny human. Period. Done.
All right, so you're saying he was good in High School High?
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
So, aspiring teacher gets thrusted into the hooves of urban culture and tries to turn these guys' lives around, and hilarity ensues, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's it. That's it. It's a John Lovitz movie. The movie's what the movie is. Like, if you're looking for highbrow, like, it's not making it to any Academy Award stage anywhere ever. So just fucking accept it for what it's supposed to be. It's what it was supposed to be. And wasn't that made right after that fucking, like, the Gangster's Paradise movie with fucking Michelle Pfeiffer or whatever?
Oh. Yeah, that seems to be on par, yeah. They also had casted Tia Carrere in there. That didn't hurt.
No.
Nice.
Even Tia Carrere now doesn't hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's like a steam-powered car.
She just pull that lever and she goes, baby. And finally, did you know dinosaurs were on Earth for about 500 times longer than humans have existed?
500 amount of time, man. They didn't evolve, though.
No.
It was the same types every time.
No, they didn't.
No.
No, you're wrong. I'm agreeing with you.
I was saying sarcastically, they did, right? They got the species got wiped out, and there was first it was the T-Rex, and it's like been 15 iterations of this. Then you can't call it the Brontosaurus. It was the Brachiosaurus and the Wankosaurus and the fucking Tomahawksaurus.
No, I guess technically maybe they had genetic shift for, yes, in the classic sense of evolution. But as far as like any sentient beings that were, like, their brains didn't enhance, their physical characteristics got maybe adapted to where they needed to be at the time. Mm-hmm. And now they're chickens. So who won?
Was there any that's a good point. Was there any concrete definition, or at least like an archaeologist, and according to Murr, probably making all this up, that of the bunch that was the smartest? Like, yeah, this one probably had a little more IQ.
That's the Velociraptor, man. That's the whole fucking.
The Velociraptor was? Okay.
Yeah, because like that was the best hunter. They would be like the wolves of modern era. Hunted in packs, clever, tricked people, tricked animals, tricked their prey. Yeah, I mean, but beyond that, I mean, but that's as far as you got. Fuck you. You deserve that asteroid, bitches. Enjoy your smoldering death. And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Okay.
Damn.
Tonight, and before you go, from BuzzFeed, we have men are revealing things that they secretly enjoy but probably wouldn't tell their friends about, which is proof, at least according to BuzzFeed, that toxic masculinity needs to go. It's 16 of them. We're not going to read all of them. I got a list of about half a dozen here that I want to get to. But we will start out with number one. I have to read this a little bit slowy because I'm not exactly sure what the hell these are. I have plushies on my bed from Squishmallow. And when I'm having a rough day, I watch Bluey or Thomas the Train.
All right. I know what the mellow thing is. It's Squishmallow. It's like it's a stuffed animal, but the stuffing inside is like that of, like memory foam, the softest, most plush memory foam you've ever fucking put your fingers on. Oh, it's glorious. If they made pillows out of it,
They are awesome.
yeah, but they're just stuffed animals, just modern.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just
And that's really, like, sorry, and in the truest sense of the word, that's pretty fucking gay. Just saying.
Yes, if you're having a rough day, you can call it whatever you want. I don't know. I plushies from I got, maybe it's the washing Bluey or Thomas the Train. Maybe it's that.
Thomas the Train's a little lame, but Bluey is a quality.
Bluey's fine. Yeah,
Bluey's a great television
Bluey's
show.
entertaining.
It's not just entertaining; it's wholesome. Okay,
That's
like,
also true.
It's everything. If it, like when I had a child, I feared Barney and all that other shit, and then Bluey came on. I was like, God, can we watch that one again, buddy? Bluey has made me cry. He has made me weep. She rather. And Bluey's a girl. Bluey's a girl, but it's a universal show. It's so good. God damn. Go watch yourself some Bluey, Wes, when you're done here.
I'll check some Bluey out. I
Great
get a plushie. Get some Bluey in my life. Number two, I secretly love motivational quotes, but I'm too proud to admit that I have a favorite. I have a favorites notebook full of them. Motivational quotes are one thing, but I guess having the journal, come on, really? You can't find some. You can't remember these or refer to a few. Stockpile. Get that in the lockbox in that old mind. Get a half a dozen of your favorites and leave it be. What is this like? Oh wait. This is when my wife hates me. Okay, you're not as bad as you think you are. Not as bad as she says you are. I don't know.
Who do you think you are? I am.
There it is. The Pete Weber quote. Remember that one. You'll be fine.
I guess my point would be, and I'll throw this like gingerly at you, Alan. Like, how memorable are these inspirational quotes?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to remember one, and I can't. I don't know. I'm also fucking. I have a weird like aversion to shit like that because I'm in sales, and sales is ripe for like fucking people like that. They're like, guys, fucking, let's go, let's get after it, rise and grind. Like, fucking hate.
Stick your head up a bull's ass.
Yeah, I fucking hate you. It's like, guys, remember, fucking, successful actions. Just keep, stupid shit. And I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. Like, this is what a mediocre salesman tells themselves to get themselves juiced up for work every fucking day, to go fucking call on some people that don't want to talk to them. That's not me. People actually fucking like me. It's fine. Like, I can't stand it. So, yeah, no, I think it's fucking weird. And having a journal of them is even weirder. This is the internet. You can just Google one. There's an app, I think,
right.
You can just he'll just give you a new one every day, like a fortune cookie or some shit. Like,
I guess my point would be is like they're not affecting you if you have to like journal them Like if you have to
Yeah.
catalog them, like if they're really truly inspirational, like you'll wake up or meet the moment that's meeting you, and you'll just you'll summon that quote. Like it'll be like Wes said, it'll be locked up here. It won't be like something you have to like. Oh, I'm really anxious right now. And I'm nervous about this upcoming public speaking event. Where's my public speaking? And you're fucking rifling through a notebook? Like, that's just, no. Like, have something. And, by the way, kind of on the topic, did you guys watch that video I sent you about Kobe and what he listened to before big games?
I saw. I
don't think I
missed
said.
it. Some of those.
This, he goes, I've never told anyone this, and this might make me seem pretty psycho, but when it was time to meet the moment, I would just sit in the locker room and I would play the Halloween theme on repeat. Because when you think of Halloween and Michael Myers, you think of no emotion, stone cold killer. It's like, holy shit.
That's pretty cool.
It gave me a fucking boner just listening to him fucking describe that and knowing what Mamba did when Mamba needed to do it. Like, Jesus Christ, homeboy. Like, you are psycho, but if you want to be that guy, that's what you got to do. That ain't Eminem fucking lose yourself in the music, the moment. Like, holy shit. Stay away from Kobe in the locker room.
And Mike Myers had a lot of memorable quotes. He was a silent guy, you know. He didn't, let his actions speak louder than words. But,
My favorite was this one.
the head tilt. Yeah, that's right. Confusion. It's more like a dog. Next, one word: sewing.
Sewing. I like this one. I do this one.
Yeah.
I'm not a good seamstress, whatever. I'm not good at it. I understand the functionality of it.
Yeah.
I know how to like mend things. It's
Yeah.
an important skill to have.
It is. Yeah, and I can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
If it brings you peace and prosperity and therapeutic relief, by all means. There's nothing not masculine about it. Which is what I was going to ask about the motivational thing. Is the toxic masculinity, like if you do these things, you're not masculine. If you try to seek motivation from someone else's words, or if you sit there in front of a 5-pedal and I don't know, man. You ain't a dude.
Well, I think what it is like these are things that men, I think, have secretly always done. Not all men, but a lot of men, and they've been too ashamed to admit it. Now, I do think the plushie thing is okay. It's weird. I don't know. That's it's juvenile.
Yeah.
Everything else so far is like, let your flag fly, buddy. It's not even a freak flag. Just let
Yeah.
it fly, man. Like, don't be ashamed to admit to these things, because I'll tell you what, in a pinch, I've had people at work, our uniforms suck. Like, they're shit. They fucking tear all the time. And I've had people hey, do you know how to sew? Yeah, just fucking give it to me. I'll bring it back to you tomorrow. You can do it that quick? Yeah. It's literally just like there's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. Like, if you would just learn the concept, it's over. I think movies have had a big part to play in this. Like, all the tough guys don't know how to do fucking like woman's work, and that's why it's toxic.
Gotcha. Which brings me to my next one. Well, he also talks about like fruity drinks, but rom-coms.
Man, I get emotional at things, okay?
I don't mind rom-coms. As a matter of fact, I watch them with Sarah like semi-frequently. It has nothing to do with masculinity. My hate on rom-coms is, or at least my knock or a criticism, is that, God, they are so predictable.
Yeah.
They're so predictable. We watched one with Damon Wayans Jr. like a month ago called Players. All right, and within 10 minutes, I picked it out. I was like, oh yeah, they used to date in college. He still digs her. She doesn't know it. He's too passive aggressive to say anything because he's in the friend zone and doesn't want to ruin that, but he still really likes her. And they're both going to date someone, and they're both going to realize that they don't like each other, or they don't like the person that they're dating, and then they're going to wind up with each other. And that's how it played out. And it was still entertaining, but it was just like anyone with half a fucking brain can just kind of dissect what's about to unfold in the next hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as they're clever. I mean, any movie's good as long as it's clever. It doesn't matter like what genre it is. Just be clever. That's it. I don't know, like, I don't know, like that's why Matthew McConaughey like got so pigeonholed, is because he was doing clever rom-coms. There was a twist.
Right.
There was something extra to the movie that threw you off, and that if they weren't doing well in the box office, like, dudes got to go see them too, in order for you to fucking crack 50, 60 million bucks a pop at the box office. So you got to do something right. But yeah, any movie that's clever is fine. Enjoy your rom-com. Sometimes you need to feel your feelings. It's okay.
Sure. The next, actually, I'm bunching 3 of these together. It all has to do with music. I listen to boy bands like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I'm 36 and I love me some Sabrina Carpenter. And then I'm 30-something white suburban dad, and I love raunchy pop like Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. Constantly on my playlist. I mean, I don't know what does that have to do with your I think maybe I'm so tone deaf to it anymore. Like, I don't really give a shit what you listen to. I don't judge your masculinity based. Maybe these people that are judging the masculinity are the ones that are insecure about their masculinity.
I think you nailed the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
I mean, I will say, okay, Alan, you know what I respect about you? If you're listening to any of the aforementioned music, when you pull up to a red light, I don't see you turning it down.
Nah, definitely not.
However, I will listen to it, but I will put it at a respectable indoor voice volume.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Murr, like, you do some of this stuff, but don't want to tell somebody. I feel like some of this stuff on the list is right up your alley. Like, yeah, I don't care. I like this shit. I like this shit.
And this is why I'm giving you your flowers here, is
Thank you.
because like, I think it's more masculine to own what you like than it is to be deterred because of what other people might think.
Yeah, I definitely got some looks the other day when it was nice, because fucking I was rolled into the garage with like all my windows down, and I was playing Red Wine Supernova by Chapel Roan, and I was getting it pretty hard. And there's like a 20-something young lady that was like, I was like, that's right. I do gets down with this whatever this is.
And you know what? I'm always impressed if I pull up to a red light and someone's blasting like, you know, some fucking candy pop, and it's like it's a fucking dude with a fucking, I don't know, bad hairline and leather jacket. And I'm like, all right, buddy, all right, you're very confident in this. That's some balls right there. Because like 20 years ago, you got dragged out in the street and beat the shit out of. But you're fine with it right now.
I think we talked about it a few weeks back. You know what I turned down now? I turned down Drake when it comes on. I don't want people knowing I listen to that. He's still got some bangers, but I don't need people knowing that shit.
Drake's turned down. 2 more to go. Pedicures.
Yeah,
I don't do them, but I don't care.
I think it is a little strange, I'll be honest, for dudes to give that much of a shit about their feet. It's such a that's such a vanity thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really is. Because I don't even want to see your feet, so I don't care how pretty they are. And 2, their feet are utensils. They're tools. They're walking around tools. They're not supposed to look like that. And if they do, yeah, I think a little less of you. And you know what? I don't know if that's toxic masculinity. I just feel like it's like masculine judgment.
It definitely is. But that's fine. I mean, yeah, I don't do it. I honestly, because I probably wouldn't make it through the process. I'm too ticklish.
I've gotten 1.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I know plenty of dudes that do it. Like, yeah, and same with like manicures and shit. Like, I would probably do a manicure, but I bite my nails and it's never going to stop.
I'd get a manicure. I bite my nails as well. I would get a manicure, but like that's like that. These are supposed to be exposed to the world, and if you want them to look good, then that's what you do. But like the feet, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying not to insult you, but like I'm already saying that like getting a pedicure is a little foo-fooey, and then to think of you going while getting one.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do it. You're never getting that satisfaction.
I would stick my feet in like the little fish pond thing that they have at some of the Asian places. I don't know, that seems more of a novelty. Like I'm not going for like aesthetics. I'm just going for the
To have some fish nibble at your toes and your the balls of your feet.
in a controlled setting. Yes.
Well, see, here, Murr, you walk a lot. You get a lot of miles in, a lot of steps in. From what I understand, the ladies say that the best part of the pedicure is the leg massage that they give. They basically rub your feet and your calves and all that shit. So, like, maybe you're missing out, man.
All right. I'll tell you, the one time I got one, I immediately walked out to a block party, which I was meeting the person I was with who was at the block party. And it felt like I had been walking on socks for the last 30 years. I'd gotten the sock removed. I had sandals on, and I bounced around for about 4 or 5 minutes. Like, damn, this feels great. And then I sucked down 6 32-ounce beers, and I didn't feel my feet.
Very
I was
masculine.
flying at that point. Yeah. Where are these 32-ounce Busch Lights? Finally, late at night, I dress up like Donna Summers. I put on a skirt and 4-inch heels, and I love it. That's not... crumble this up.
Yeah, I don't know how to judge that one. That's strange. But you know what? I think my take on all things America is that, like, do what you want. Yeah, maybe some of them keep secret. You don't have to tell everybody about it. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'll judge
Dressing
you.
up like Donna Summers with heels? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll judge you, but do what you do what feels great. You know, the one you didn't get to, like the bubble bath thing. I like a bath. I love a bath. I enjoy a bath. I think baths are relaxing.
Okay. No. I'm not a bath guy, but I see the appeal. I get it. Yeah.
Put a fucking candle on, turn the lights out, you know?
I feel like you're pivoting away from dressing up in a skirt and 4-inch heels.
Well, that's as close as I get to being Donna Summers. a nice drawn bath with a fucking candle on in the fucking bathroom.
I like how weirdly specific it was with Donna Summers. Like, could have just said I dress up like a black woman from the 80s. I dress up like Donna Summers. Good for you, I suppose. All right, Alan, tell all the Donna Summers dress-up lookalikes where you can find middle class holes.
Just search Andrew Murr on Facebook and fucking. I think that's it. I don't know that he has profiles and other stuff. Grinder, probably, definitely. But no, for all things middle class holes, please check us out on your favorite social media platforms at MDO Class Holes, Instagram and Twitter. I still call it Twitter, and of course, for all the rest of you, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube's, fucking all that shit. It's just the middle class holes. Check us out. Keith, you still haven't emailed us. What the fuck? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Murr, I met Keith Kern in the flesh. Yeah. Met him, shook his hand, talked to him for about 5 minutes. I was it's when I came back to the table that we were sitting at, it was this Newcastle Cup final. I just said, it's weird. I've been talking to that guy for years via email. Got to mean I didn't know what to say. I was starstruck.
I was a little worried that he fucking maimed himself in a hot air balloon accident.
It's reasonable.
No,
I definitely. We were standing there, and like he came in and got a table with the back with his group, and I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, Wes, there's Keith over there. There's Keith Curry. He's a real person. Go talk to him."
Wow.
Like, oh, I gotta go say hi.
I turned around and then took 2 steps and came back and put my beer on the table. I was like, man, what am I going to say? I don't know what I'm going to do. Go say hello, you dumb fuck.
Yeah,
Tell me dress up like Donna Summers. I don't know. Say hello.
I'm Wes, and he's going to be like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, he knew. He's like, Wes. Yeah. Oh, shit. I guess the next couple of weeks we'll try to get a middle class holes badass of the month. We got what is it? Denim joggers or denim running pants?
No. It's not that.
hilarity will ensue. Go Terps, and happy opening day to all you motherfuckers out there who are baseball fans. We'll be back. Take her easy.